Hello and welcome to iForgeAhead. In this tutorial, we're going to cover the settings module of the iForgeAhead system. This is the area where you can manage your preferences for iForgeAhead as well as information related to your iForgeAhead account. This is not an area that you'll come into on a daily basis, but you'll definitely want to review the settings and make some changes when you first set up your iForgeAhead system, and you may come in here periodically to make changes as well. So let's begin by going to the top level settings menu in the menu bar, and this will take us to the settings page, which lists all the different areas you can go to control your settings. The first link is called My Business Information, and this is where you control the information for your business, your address, phone numbers, email, website, as well as logo over here. I don't have one set up right now, but we can click the change logo to add a logo. All of this information will appear at the top of all your printed documents. So this is what constructs your letterhead. You can use the yellow pencil here to edit the information in this screen. And down here you can edit, add, or delete individual phone numbers. Let's go back to the main settings window. The next option is My Account Settings. This is an area where you can change your password, change your email address, manage users, and optionally delete all data. Let's talk through each of these. Also at the top, you can select your preferred language for working with the system. It defaults to English, but if you're in another country, you can change this language. Incidentally, at the time of this recording, portions of the site have been translated into other languages, but not all of them. Okay, the first option is Change Email Address. It's very important for your iForgeAhead account that we have your current email address on file. So if you get a new email address, you'll want to change it first in the My Business Information section, the page we were previously on, so it will reflect correctly in your letterhead. But you also need to come in here and change it for our account information. That's how iForgeAhead contacts you. Please keep your email address current. This next option allows you to change the password that you use to get into the system. The next one deals with payment information, and at the time of this video, that is not currently functional or applicable. This option called Manage Users I want to show you. iForgeAhead allows you to add up to 2 users to your system, and they will have their own username and password. They will have access to almost everything within your system, but they will not have access to your My Business Information or some of the settings that you're seeing here on the account settings. For example, a user that's on your account that's not you will not be able to come into this particular screen and change users. You'll see in the list here I've added a number of them, but only 2 can be set to active at a time. So that's what you're seeing here. And if you need to add another one, you can do so with this button at the bottom. If you have someone that's going to be using iForgeAhead in addition to you, we highly recommend that you set them up as a new user as opposed to just giving them your login information and your password. This accomplishes 2 things. First, if they have your username and password and can sign in as if they're you, they can get to all the screens just like you are. Secondly, every time a record is added or changed, the system records which specific user did that and when. That's available behind the scenes. If you have any questions about data and how things were changed, we can look up which user made those changes or added certain records. So again, please don't give your username or password to other people. Just come into this screen and set them up as a user under your account and give them their own username and password. The final option I would like to show you on this screen is the last one. This is called Delete All Data. This will only appear if you're in the trial version of the program. I'm going to cover that more in another tutorial called Data Management, and so I highly recommend that you take a look at that. But this is the screen that you would use to do that. Alright, let's go back to the settings page and show you the other few options. Manage drop-down lists is a very handy screen that allows you to control the values that apply in the different drop-down lists that appear throughout the system. When it first opens up, it's showing you the list of cities, and as you'll see with the command buttons here, you can edit or delete any entry, and you can add new entries clicking the green plus button. You'll want to come in here when you first set up your system and take a look at your value lists and see if you want to add or change anything. Some of the types of lists have starter values in there for you, but some are empty and you'll have to populate them yourself, such as pad type, shoe type, and region. So if you're just getting started with the system, these particular lists will be empty, and you'll want to set up your starter values for regions or shoe types or pad types. You would click region, and I've set up a couple here, but when you first come in, these will be empty, and you'll click the plus button to add to your regions list. Returning to the settings page, these next two allow you to set your preferences for different modules within the system. For contacts, you have the option of how contact names should be sorted. That's covered here, first name, then last name, or vice versa. And you also have your custom fields. These allow you to record additional information beyond what's already provided by iForgeAhead. I've put in a couple samples here saying that you might want a field that tracks late payment history on your customers or contacts, or you might want to record birthdays for your contacts. In any event, you can put whatever you want in these, and that will be a label determining the type of additional information you want to track for each contact. Once you've made your changes in these boxes, you'll just click Save Custom Field Names. And the next time you go into your contact screen, you will see these field labels there, each with their own field where you can store that data. Finally, we'll look at the preferences for horses. You have two main sections here. The top, you can set your default number of weeks between visits. This is the number that each horse will be set to as it's added to the system. Of course, each horse can be on its own schedule, and you can change the default on any individual horse, but you'll want this value to be set to the interval that is most common for the majority of your horses. Finally, in the bottom section, you have additional custom fields. We've put in quite a few on this side. The first four are related to the horse detail information. So this is information at the horse level, and you have 4 specific custom fields for horses. In addition to that, the hoof specs module allows you to store an additional 4 custom fields for each hoof spec record. So you can set labels in here for additional information you want to track for the hoof specs. Again, when you've entered your new values in these fields, you'll click this button, and the same thing over here under hoof specs, add your new labels, and click Save Custom Fields under there. You might not have an idea how you want to use these at the beginning, or you might only use 1 or 2 of them, in which case you'll see, just like here, I've put in special data, show circuit, and the last 2 I haven't used yet. But you can come back to this screen at any time and set up your custom fields. And that concludes our review of the settings module for iForgeAhead. Thanks very much.